Welcome. And today we'll dive into a great nuclear revenge story and their reactions. Coming up we have: Do not mess with my family, I will destroy you. I just know you're gonna love these stories, so this should be a fun session. Hi, this is Derek. I just put the Drama Llama, Fred, back in his pen so that I can do this quick video for you with some of the stuff that Fred found on Reddit earlier today. If this is your first time watching our videos, help me out by watching to the end, and then giving me some feedback in the comment area below. I do respond to every single one, so don't be shy. And if you want more of these videos daily, don't forget to like and subscribe, with notifications turned on for this channel. Oh boy, let's get ready for some deep-seated revenge. Dragon Pora posted: Do not mess with my family, I will destroy you. Okay, so this goes way back and still leaves me fuming. This is my very first post, will be probably long-winded, but there is a reason. Background: I will call myself Daisy, qualified as a mechanical engineer in the mid-1980s working in textiles, in a little African country, Players. Ed, the consultant with carte blanche, Ed was there to assess performance, but also investigate why a profitable company takes a nosedive within 18 months. The villains are Bob, Nob, and Vaughn. The story is long, take a break, get yourself a coffee/tea/shake/cocktail, whatever rocks your boat. I was part of a management team employed on behalf of an NGO, non-government organization, company funded by the Commonwealth and IMF, International Monetary Fund, to help set up the viable labor-intensive industry for this country in the mid-1990s. To start with, this was a dream job with free luxury accommodation in a secured village with tennis courts and a swimming pool. Free utilities like electric, water, and telephone landline, no internet at that time and no mobiles in this region. Free private schooling for my 3 children, a monthly allowance, note not salary, and a great pension. The catch was that my husband was not allowed to work permanently. He could consult for companies, but not be employed as part of the work and residential permit process. I was the total breadwinner. I was respected by the management team and my employees. I loved the people of this nation, the culture, the warmth, and the willingness to learn even if the majority of the employees were illiterate. I helped set up schools to improve their verbal and written skills, not only in English, but also in the local official language. I woke each day ready to tackle the challenge, and see the company flourish and become profitable. The company becomes very profitable, and as part of an agreement with the CDC, Commonwealth Development Corporation, and IMF, International Monetary Fund, it needs to be sold to investors in this country, as a profitable venture, with the caveat that all local employees remain in employment for 18 months. The order books were full, the bank balance very healthy on the day the new owners came in. The new owners have their headquarters in Southeast Asia. This is when the troubles began. New CEO, Nob, and CFO, Vaughn, came in, and the first order of the day is to remove the majority of the previous management and bring their team in. I was told in no uncertain terms that as a female, I should be home breeding and not working. My time was up. The company starts losing money. Within 9 months, this new team started blaming the local employees. This meant that head office sent in an independent observer, we'll call him Ed, to give feedback proposals to the group's CEO in Southeast Asia. This is important for later. I had to have medical leave for 8 weeks, and whilst on medical leave, the CEO makes the decision to cut off free private education for my children, and no more free utilities, or food allowance, without adjusting my allowance. Remember, as a true expat, the company owns you totally. I made a formal complaint but was told if I did not like it, the company would inform the country government that I had been fired, due to not being qualified. This would have meant 48 hours to leave the country, with no support from the company. This means my family would lose everything, and become destitute. On my return to work, they demote me and place their own man, to run my previous department, engineering and maintenance. I go to introduce myself to my new manager, let's name him Bob. Bob refuses to shake hands, and states that he is there to make my life hell, and get me fired. I saw red. No one threatens my family's well-being and gets away with it. He was only the spokesman for the senior management. Payback is needed. I decided to start an investigation into what is going on. In the 12 months that this new management team has taken over, the company is now in serious debt. New equipment that had been installed by the NGO previously has to be sold to help pay salaries. The pension fund was found to be underfunded, explained as the NGO having taken money out. This management team has somehow brought over extended families that were all being educated in top universities either in South Africa or even the UK as well as top private schools in the region for the younger children. There was also extended house staff and drivers. All of this coming out as losses in the company books. To top it up, I find out that my new manager's university doctorate degree was fake. This management team treat the local staff as subhuman. I had had enough of this BS, time to sort these wankers out. Stage 1. Prove current boss that he is not qualified in what he says he is. Talk to Ed about my suspicion. Show him the transcript from a telephone conversation with the university that he has a PhD from, and we set a trap. We have a set of machines that are seriously underperforming. Ed and I work out a plan where I walk into the lead meeting late. I was to be quiet, until Ed asked. We wanted to give Bob enough rope. In the meeting, I sit quietly whilst Bob blames the local operators, the local maintenance fitters for all the woes that are happening, and reasons why we can't meet the order book demands. Ed sweetly asked if there is a possibility of a mechanical issue, and Bob denies it. Ed then asked me for my opinion. I explained that Bob has been changing suppliers of critical components to cheaper versions, but somehow they still cost the same on the official books. I had evidence that demonstrates that Bob was receiving a significant percentage of the difference on the side. I also stated that I could fix the problem, using some of the correct components. If I was wrong then, by all means I could be fired. Ed sets a challenge to me and Bob. Each one of us has a team of fitters and our chosen components. Bob storms to the shop floor, and does his usual screaming at everyone. I go down and explain what I was trying to achieve, and how it would benefit the operators, and get the project going at end of the week. I have to report back to the management team. Ed had asked a few operators, mechanics, and production supervisors how Bob worked, and if there was any attempt to sabotage my project. Needless to say, Bob did try everything. Ed gives Bob a chance to come clean, but Bob still stated I was a liar, and knew nothing. Ed stands up, goes to the door, opens it, and outside is Bob's family. Ed had organized drivers and contacts to fly to South Africa to pick up all the children from schools and universities, and for those in the UK the university was informed no company funds would be forthcoming. Then he proceeded to give each of Bob's family plane tickets for the following morning. Company security guards and police were sent with Bob to his bank, where these funds were frozen due to fraudulent transactions. He accepted a plea bargain. He will not be welcome in Africa ever, and his home country police were informed. When Bob landed in his home country, the head office had organized a police escort. Basically he was unemployable, and his family greatly shamed him. I hope he got his just desserts, couldn't care less. Stage 1 complete. Stage 2. The final event proves Nob and Bon have been defrauding the company and country. Nob and Bon were still in charge of the company. This is now 18 months from taking over. The stated clause that the workforce could not be touched was up. Nob and Bon called an all-site meeting. They stood up front with tears running down on how the NGO had lied about the company orders and profitability. How they are trying their best, but the company is really struggling and people will lose their jobs. I had been working closely with Nob and Bon's secretary, so had been able to access the info needed. Survival kicked in. As I was part of the original management team, I had the original accounts that were audited as part of the CDC and IMF funding for the NGO. In between, I accumulated information on the losses being shown, and the missing money going offshore into private accounts, and not the head office accounts. You see, these two did not respect women, or the locals, and assumed that what was being done would not be picked up. If they had bothered to understand who they employed in the office, they would have found that the purchase officer and the accounting supervisor were qualified accountants with close links to government, the banks, and they were. You're right. Women. I had explained that there would be a time when we needed evidence to safeguard the money and people's livelihood. So the files had been building from when they were in 6 months to now a year later. Nob announces that 66% of staff will have to be let go. Again, I talked to Ed and give him the evidence we had been accumulating. Nob calls me to the office to tell me that I am redundant with immediate effect, and that to be able to stay in the country, to sort out my family, I would now owe the company rent. That was twice my given allowance. I lost it. I literally turned around and explained that in less than 24 hours, he would have no future, his family would have no future, no matter where they run, they would be found. I knew this to be true as Ed already had the wheels in motion. This time the group chairman walks in on my heated conversation together with the IMF representative, and Bon in the tow. Nob was fired on the spot, loaded onto a plane with an international warrant for fraud. The IMF pursued this fully. They were screwed. In this Southeast Asian country, a stain on your trustworthiness means you are untouchable. As for me, well, the company limped along, but I no longer trusted anyone from that group. I and my husband found employment in another regional country. This time both of us had work permits, and also had airtight contracts. No one will ever screw us over or make us feel like slaves. The message was, do not threaten my children or my family, I will destroy you by waiting until you hang. Not proud, just realistic. Update. After I left this company, I actually ran a little guest lodge, wanted a break from the chaos only to get into another type of chaos. Now living in the UK, came home to my husband's hometown. Some other stories will be told, though they will not beat this one. We'll probably need to have these either under Entitled, Choosing Beggars, or proRevenge. Your support was really super. What are your thoughts on this incredible story? Please share in the comments below. Now here's how some Reddit members reacted to this story. Sheeps reacted with, Nob and Bond totally got what was coming to them. Techie Guy James reacted with, goddamn. The IMF was involved, and they still tried fraud. And finally, K1R0V reporting reacted with, sounds like the people that were brought in, Nob, Bond, and Bob, were complete idiots. Not to mention racist and sexist. They didn't even consider the thought of money very quickly going missing. And the company suddenly in dire straits almost immediately after they were brought in, all while they're living high on the hog and money was being shifted offshore. Did they even once consider trying to cover their own butts? What morons! I hope their lives were ruined, and hope that the local workers who were affected by this didn't get shafted too badly. Well, there you have it. A perfectly great question answered by a bunch of fine and honorable citizens. Help support this channel by smashing the like and subscribe buttons. And hit that silly little bell as well to ensure you get the latest videos as they come out. Fred is always finding stuff for me to post regularly. So this is Derek signing off. Thanks for watching. Good grief, it sounds like Fred is out of his pen again. I think he found more drama for me to share with you. See you soon.